Yo, I want to address something real quick. I was at Walmart. This little girl and this little boy, brother and sister, I'm guessing, were arguing and bickering back and forth. The little girl, probably about 9 or 10 years old. The little boy, maybe 4 or 5. The little girl looks at the little boy after he says something about, I'm going to tell something. And she says, middle finger up, tell him, boy, bye. I said, what? I'm thinking to myself, like, did she really just say that? The mom turned around told my girl, stop it. You are not Beyonce. You just saw your kid stick your middle finger up at our little brother, and your reaction is, girl, you are not Beyonce. Parents, you have got to stop putting your kids in grown-up environments and situations and conversations and letting them hear grown-up music, watching grown-up movies. I say it repeatedly. A kid will not stay in a kid's place if you continue to put them in adult business. You know, I went to watch Tarzan with my daughter to give you an idea, because this stuff sticks to people. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand how much this stuff sticks to their children. So Tarzan, first of all, it was a good movie. I asked before I took my daughter, because I always ask people like, yo, is this a child-friendly movie? Is there a lot of cursing in it? Is there a lot of this or is there a lot of that? And of course, I got a lot of responses from people, and they were like, no, it's cool, man. You love it. Great movie. Kids will love it. Blah, 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 blah. Cool. My daughter's very into movies. If you've seen Tarzan, you know that there's a part where Samuel L. Jackson is about to shoot at the gorilla, and the gorilla stands over him. And Samuel has to get down on his knees and bow down to the gorilla, basically submit. Well, after we leave the movie, my daughter looks at me and she asks me, like she always does with every single movie, Daddy, what was your favorite part of the movie? I was like, blah, 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 this is my favorite part. She's like, oh, this is my part. Okay, cool. Then she's like, so what was the funniest part of the movie? I'm like, oh, the funniest part for me was whenever she's like, I hope you realize your mustache is a little shorter on one side than the other. I thought that was funny. She was like, yeah, Dad, that was funny. My favorite part, Dad, is when he was standing in front of the gorilla and the guy, and then she got quiet. And I said, what? What part? And she's like, no, nothing, Dad, nothing. See, the part where Samuel L. Jackson asked Tarzan, do you want me to lick his nuts? Was the funniest part to all the kids in the theater. I get you, it's a Disney movie. Oh, Disney. Like, that really makes a difference anymore. Heck, E.T. was PG when we were growing up. But do you understand the comedy for a 9-year-old in that movie was the part about a guy asking if you wanted him to lick the gorilla's nuts. I don't know about you, but that's not 9-year-old comedy. Now, I realize that you can't keep your kids from hearing all the type of, they slide cuss words in like every movie now. But what you got to realize is how they do it. I took her to go see Transformers at one point, and I never forget, they sat there and the guy said, how do you say F you in Transformer? Like, the way they put some of these words in these movies, it's not like it slides in and it goes unnoticed. It's a blunt punchline. It's like a rap battle. It's like they use that moment to stick in the F you, the funny part about licking the gorilla's nuts or whatever. I don't mind movies where they might slide in some cuss words here or there, and it kind of goes unnoticed because it's just part of the dialogue. But whenever you're on the end of a mountain and everybody's jumping off, and the guy looks over and goes, man, F that. Or, shh. Like, that sticks. Because it's supposed to. That's why they single that part out from the rest of the movie, is so it will stick. And so it'll be noticed. Because it's humorous. See, what people don't realize is that your kids learn from what they see and what they hear. They learn from what they see and hear from you and what you do. Now, I know, Mr. Overprotective Dad, sheltering his child, Oh my God, I'm happy my parents didn't raise me like that. Great. See, one thing I've realized is that people tend to think that just because you whoop your child when they do wrong, you're doing your job. And then you want to blame it on the kid and say, oh, well, he's just bad. The kid's not bad. You put the kid in grown up situations, they're going to learn grown up ways. Then when they act grown up and you want to discipline them for it, you can't beat that grown up out of them because you put it in them. My 9-year-old is 9 and she's going to stay 9. When she gets old enough to experience other things that are for kids older than 9, then she will. But you can't sit up there and put your kids in grown-up situations and then be upset when you get a phone call talking about your kid was at school talking to some other kid about getting some head. Oh, because every song that you let him listen to inside of his car talks about that. Or your son's in trouble or your daughter's in trouble for saying this word or doing this or doing that. When you're the one that keeps putting them in that environment, you have no one to be upset at except for yourself. Finding Dory is a kid movie. Madagascar was a good kid movie / adult movie. I'm not saying you're doing a bad job if you take your child to see a movie that has cursing in it. I'm just telling you, if you think that just because you tell your kids that's not right, and you know better than saying that, even if you hear it, that sticks. Also remember, you tell your kids there's nothing in the closet, but they still want that closet door closed, don't they? You tell them there's nothing under their bed, but they still kind of worry. You understand? No matter what you tell them, a kid's mind is going to think like a child. So regardless of what you tell them, they will find the humor, they will find the entertainment in the parts that you might not want them to find, and that's what sticks in their head. I know my daughter's going to hear cussing. I know my daughter's going to see sex. I know my daughter's going to get this whole wonderful world of everything going on full blast in front of her face. But she's not going to get it from me. I will talk to her and prepare her for stuff when it's time. But why do you think most kids smoke and their parents smoke? Why do you think a lot of the kids that start drinking and their parents drink? Because they learn from us. What you introduce your child to is what they learn from, and 9 times out of 10 they're going to copy it. So yeah, I get it. You might smoke in front of your child. You might cuss in front of your child. You might do all this other stuff in front of your child. My job in my mind, out of all the stuff I did wrong, is to make my child a better version of me as she grows up, as he grows up, as all my kids grow up, to be a better version of me. And to do that, I have to lead by example. So yes, Tarzan was a good movie. But when you got parts like that, those things stick in kids' heads. And when they talk with other kids, like, have you seen Tarzan? Yeah, I saw Tarzan. Wow, it was a good movie. Yeah, I liked it. I liked the part when he asked him, did you want me to lick the monkey's nuts? And there you go. You can't even get upset because you're the one who takes them to these things. It's not sheltering your child. It's keeping a child in a child's place until they're ready to grow up. And as they grow up, introducing them to more as they grow up. You do what you do as a parent. But me personally, I'm kind of disappointed in all these different movie places that put PG movies and have so many different movies with such foul language in it or with sexually explicit language in it. Like, come on, man, it's kids. Let a kid stay a kid. There's already so much out there to make them grow up faster, the internet and everything else. Let a kid be a kid, okay? And as a parent, lead by example. Stop thinking just because you tell your kid not to say that word, not to do this, or you know better, or let me explain to you that this isn't real. It doesn't register to kids. They're kids. They still think the Easter Bunny's real. Some of them. Anyway, that's my rant. That's my 2 cents. You can spend it how you want to. And stop letting your kids listen to grown-up music, man. God